The Heavenly Empire has fallen. The world has been left in disarray. Many years have passed since such a cataclysmic event, and this cycle is coming to a close. Communities and kingdoms have grown from the corpse of the Empire, and yet their peace will end. Soon a new Titan will rise. Soon the cycle will begin anew.
Oh, no one's perfect.
We are unmuted, so hello stream. Okay.
Hello!
Fuck me. Okay, I may have to audio balance. We'll get there.
My goal is to mess with your audio.
I do appreciate that. I love having to constantly readjust audio in Discord and in StreamYard. It's wonderful. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Do we want to start with, I don't know, who wants to start? Musical, do you want to start?
Sure. While I'm awake.
Okay. So, you took linguist, yeah?
Indeed I did, and that's all of my characters.
So, throughout the week, Lana, you can spend time in the archives, studying different languages and cultures, and sort of spreading your knowledge, I guess. Getting more views on that. One of the days you're down there, you're sort of sitting, you found a few books to study, and... So, fuck me. You know that lower hall when you go down the spiral staircase, there's the huge hall and the sort of skull, and the lines and lines and lines and lines of bookshelves. And one of the scholars working there is going to notice you're a little out of place. And she'll approach and go, hello, you're new here, yeah?
I suppose.
And, what do you study?
My patron Titan, and it's kind of bled over into trying to understand some of these documents that are not in common or Lappish or Alva.
Oh, do you want to learn different languages then?
It would probably be a good skill to have as a cleric.
The lady will switch from common to Lappish, and she'll go, I can show you with that if you'd like to find out.
She looks excited.
Okay. The lady will lead you towards one of the sort of tables in between the bookshelves farther in to the corner. And you see it's a little like dusty, and it seems like not as many people walk through this bit. And she'll lead you to one of the sort of stone tables and goes, sorry, right this way. This is our languages section. We have translation books and different learning books. I really quite enjoy studying it. But obviously most of the other scholars here are a bit more set on other things. But it's good to have somebody else here. And she'll rush over to one of the bookshelves and go, so what were you looking to learn?
Lana checked her character sheet. I'm old. My memory doesn't work anymore. I added Draconic, Giant, and Spirit.
Alright. Which of those are you going to say?
Let's start with Draconic, because I think she's already run into that some on this trip.
Yeah, you've definitely seen Draconic and Giant on the trip. So you want to learn Draconic?
It's a place to start, yes.
I can help with that.
You can!
Yeah, certainly. It's really nice to have somebody else that's, interested in things like this. And she'll scuttle away towards one of the shelves, and you see her start piling books onto her arms. And she sort of wanders back to the table and just dumps a pile of sort of bound leather books on you. Some of them seem much, much older than others. Some of them sort of have metal clasps or are just sort of old yellowed pages. And she'll go, "Oh, sorry, it's been a while. Let's find a place to start." And she'll start shuffling through the books. She'll eventually find a book that seems a bit more recent. And she goes, "This is probably the most new book we have on Draconic. It's the language is a bit old, but much of the scholars speak it, so you'll have plenty of people to practice with." And
Excellent.
she like stands up and shouts something in Draconic over the sort of bookshelf wall to the table over. And you hear them grumble and then shout something back in Draconic. She goes, "Yeah, you see, they're very excited to teach you." She'll open the book and sort of start going through different words, different phrases, and a few different, like, I guess, differences from Common and Lappish compared to a language that old. And yeah, you guys can spend the week sort of studying together. You are an exceptionally fast learner.
Bunnies
Probably,
are fast.
yeah, bunnies are very fast. And the scholar will be pretty well impressed with how quickly you're picking things up. And yeah, you can learn a few languages. You get to practice with a few of the other scholars in the archives who are hesitant to talk to somebody that is a small bunny person immediately, but after you show you're fairly adequate, they're very excited. And soon that little table in the corner goes from you and one scholar to you and two, and then three, and then 10. And they're all sort of talking and discussing and showing you pointers or different directions on different languages. And there you go.
Lana's eating it all up.
Yeah. Lana is better at languages now. Alright. Ahmet, do you want to do your thing?
Sure.
Okay. So, also during that week, Ahmet, you're awake in the tavern one day to
Bright and
Oh.
early from what I remember. I was told.
fairly early, yeah.
Oh god.
Also thank you for the host musical. You awake pretty bright and early, and there is the barkeep sort of lightly knocking at the common room. And like, Ahmet, if you're in there's someone here to see you.
And I just like roll out of bed.
Okay.
I'll grab everything of mine, sling Tura over my shoulder, and then open the door.
Alright. The barkeep leads you downstairs, and there you see a fairly excited Sion with a large smile on her face standing there, and you see she has sort of like 3 scrolls under one arm and a book in the other. And she goes, "So, are you excited to learn?"
Did you have to pick this hour?
"Well, you have to get bright and early. Well, you want to be a mage, don't you?"
A version of yes.
"Well, you can't get magical while sleeping in." And she will turn around and exit.
Ahmet just cleans his eyes with his hands and then follows.
Sion will lead you through the city, and she'll go, "I thought elves didn't need that much rest, speaking from experience."
Usually we don't, but I do enjoy sleeping when able, especially after the past recent days' events.
Well, if you need time to wake up, what, you tithe people drink something, right?
Typically, yes. Most cultures do drink things.
And what do you drink?
Is there coffee around here?
Yeah, I'm sure we could find a spot. And she will lead you to sort of near the front like square with the large sort of open palmed stone hand. And overlooking that square where you'll remember, I guess like a week ago, when you guys had a bit of a show number in the
Oh
middle.
yeah.
And she will lead you to one of the little like cafes rounding the entranceway. And you guys can sit, get coffee. Sion will have tea and not coffee. And she'll go, well, while you wake up, why don't you tell me what you know about magic?
The biggest thing that came to mind is its sources, and then how, or at least in my culture, and how I view its purpose. Does that work?
Yeah, you can say that.
Most of mine and my family's magic, and other artificers like me, our magic comes from sheer obtained ability, primarily used through intellect. Although magic can come from, it can be a blessing from a divine power. There are many who are born with the ability to cast magic, and there are a surprising number of cases where people are given magic from one powerful source or another. And my use in view of magic,
You want to detect something?
I use it and actively view it as a tool. It is an extraordinary thing that allows us to perform many accomplishments that would not otherwise be physically possible were it not for the arcane.
That's an interesting way to look at it. The sources you talk about, where do you think they come from? Because I'll let you in on a secret. If someone learns how to lift boxes, did a divine right, or someone learns how to lift boxes because they got real good at reading books about lifting boxes, they're both pulling from the same pool. They've just sort of entered a different door. There is a very large sort of energy, a spiritual energy, which I'm sure you're kind of so much about, that connects all things. And she'll sort of point around to different places in the square and go, that statue, the in the middle of the square, do you know what that is?
What is the statue?
It's a hand.
And I'll say as much.
It's the like open palmed stone hand just sort of sitting there.
Is it a symbol to something? Would Ahmet know or recognize?
You know that there was a stone fist on the banners in the Queen's Guard? Like all of her guards had that, in the city's like banners and flags have a stone fist on it.
It's a symbol to something related to Giant's Rest. Could be the scholar branch in the city?
It's certainly a symbol now. But what it was a body part of some poor sod that lost his hand here. But it's not just that anymore. You are right about that. By putting it sort of on a pedestal and having people walk around it and look at it and draw from it, it's become a lot more than that. Now, it's not anything tangible. You, and she'll sort of point to you, those little goggles of yours, they let you see magic, right?
If I imbue them as such, then yes.
Do you see magic everywhere? Or do you just see spells?
I can see. I can see places where magic has been cast. I can see if magic has been imbued in an object. That kind of thing.
Okay. Well, that's...
I can see if something gives off an aura of magic.
Well, that's certainly academic. It misses where it's coming from. Because when you, I'm assuming, you're a caster worth your weight in salt, right? You can probably make fire, right? Where...
How...
Oh, go.
Wait, no, you go.
Where does the fire come from? You know the incantation. You've studied it. I'm sure you know it quite well, like the back of your hand. But where are you getting it from?
I haven't thought so far down that rabbit hole, but in my mind, I always imagined it as a separate a force of such, and let me think of how to word this. A force or a substance of arcana of some sort. It's hard to explain, and as I said, I haven't thought so far down that rabbit hole.
No, that's certainly a good start.
But it's a manifestation with the... In the case of fire magic, I have the ability to cast Firebolt, and the way I view it, the ability to cast that spell comes from acquired intellect. The manifestation of the fire itself comes from a focusing of surrounding and body heat. But then the magical force behind it comes from a separate force that, as you so put it, surrounds us. A force of arcana.
So you have all the aspects, but you view it as an equation, yeah? So you have your baseline force, and you have your incantation, and you have your feeling, like your body heat that you're pulling it from. You have all of these things, and you add them all together, and voila, you have a firebolt. What you're doing is you're taking from the weave the energy that's all around us, and you're taking from it, and you're wrangling it into a shape that someone centuries ago figured out how to wrangle and wrote down for you, and you're making it happen. However, magic it's not like water. You can't just put it in a cup or put it up an aqueduct. It's living, and it's breathing, and it moves. If you want to become better at magic, and not just better, but understand it, you have to meet it halfway. As much as you understand magic, you can understand the incantation and the equation, and you can put it all together and make a product. You also need to have the weave understand you. It's a song and dance, and when that's completed, you get truly spectacular displays of magic. Not just book magic, not just things that are written down and replicated and structured, but true magic. Magic is tied to the spirit world, it's tied to the material world, it's tied to everything. And us as little mortal brains certainly like to box it up and box it into subdivisions or schools or incantations and different components and things. And whilst it certainly helps, it fails to understand the true baseline. Because someone didn't learn to cast Firebolt by writing equations until it worked. Someone learned to cast Firebolt because they communicated with the world around them. And it communicated with them, and a byproduct was created. Now, it's certainly easier to sort of read a scroll, and she'll pull one of the scrolls she brought with her and sort of lay it out on the table. It's certainly easy to sort of read this and go, this makes a fireball. And I could certainly read it off right now, though I won't, we're in a public space. And cast a fireball. And it will make a great grand explosion and everyone will go, whoa, property damage. But it misses the fact that casting that isn't understanding it. You have to breathe it and understand it and spend time with your spells and learn them and learn the weave. And if you get the chance, though very seldom do, you can go to the spirit world and understand its source and what it actually means. Now, I, as much as I would like to sort of toot my own horn, I am no master mage, but I can tell you that people far, far more skilled than me have been to the other side and understand where the sources, you're calling them, how they all sort of interconnect. And once you understand that you're not just saying something and making an effect, but you're pulling from a living baseline of the universe. You're pulling from it, and you're talking to it, and you're forming it, and it's an art form. You treat it as a science, because it's more structured, and it's simple, and it's far easier to replicate, and your gunboats and your soldiers can use them. But to truly understand magic, to break through these sort of guidelines and boundaries, you have to make it into an art. You have to dance with it. You have to understand it. And she'll sort of sit back and finish off her tea, and go, well, apprentice, do you have any questions?
Ahmet looks up from the probably at this point 5 pages he's just written in his journal, downs the rest of his coffee, and grimaces that it's not Consory coffee.
Yeah, the coffee's very, very sweet and very, very mild.
You can't even call that coffee at this point. So many questions. But none that I feel like would have great benefits from answering here.
Think on it. Tomorrow, we'll go out to the wilderness outside of town, and I'll find you a place that's a bit less polluted. And she will sort of reach out a hand to shake your hand.
I'll take it.
Alright, she will shake your hand and go, right, lovely first lesson. And she will stand up and sort of wave a goodbye and head back towards the inner city.
Ahmet just sits at the cafe for the rest of the day, flipping through those same 5 pages with just the most confused expression on his face.
There you go. Alright. Dizzy, do you want to get cooking?
Oh my god. Hello?
Musical, is that you?
Yeah,
musical, your mic.
Fuck, I thought...
Musical, no. Wait, no, is that Dizzy? Wait, talk Dizzy?
Hello?
Yeah, it's musical.
Oh
Musical, your mic's dying. It's dying so hard. Okay, somebody tell me if musical mic is fixed. I'm muting her while we continue.
I'm
Yeah.
still getting it. Oh yeah, no. I've muted her.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
Anyways,
yeah.
that's
I'm down
a
for
way to
that.
break. Okay. So, Arlo,
Yeah.
you've gotten your ingredients and you've gotten your chicken coop and your very mobile chicken coop.
Yeah.
And sort of everything set and ready. But you still sort of need to learn how to cook.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the was it the ethereal tapestry I have to pull from to
Yeah.
summon
Cooking
my
is an art form, Dizzy.
Yeah, okay. Please just omit all the like angry French chef and just repurpose the whole hothead scene but with cooking instead of magic.
Yeah, just entirely. I want you to know that I am ready and have written down how to get high concept with cooking, but it will
Let's
go a
go.
slightly different direction.
Okay.
So do you want to make your way back to the restaurant?
Yeah, I'm gonna mosey on down. I'm gonna wash the paint out of my fur because I've been painting my cart
you're,
like crazy.
you're sort of fucking cherry red splashes of fur have also been met by different colored splashes of fur.
Yeah.
You get to work painting. As you make your way back to the restaurant, you can sort of enter and you see there's the sort of finest and wealthiest members of the inner city are sitting there and eating and enjoying their different meals. There's fish, there's chicken, there's beef, there's like different mushrooms and stews and all this stuff. The smell just sort of
oh my
hits you
God.
as you enter.
I got muted musical. I'm gonna mute again.
I'm gonna worry about that. We'll do yours and then we'll do like a 5-minute break and fix musical's mic.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, you get hit by that sort of wall of just scents and sensations. And as your mind clears from that, you notice that a few of the waiters have noticed you and all of them are actively avoiding you.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
just waiting for somebody else to take you to the back because they know what happened last time.
Yeah, that's fair. I also actively avoid all the waiters and I nod at them courteously and
Yeah.
just sort of meander to the back.
They'll all give you like slight bows of like, we are working, and we will give you a professional bow and then get back to their waiting.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
As you get sort of to the back and as you get closer, you walk down that little side hallway and you hear louder and louder as you get closer the sounds of clanging and yelling and swearing from the largely the main chef and very few other people.
All right.
And as you enter, you see that large sort of portly chef, his tall chef hat, and he looks at you and goes, "What the hell are you doing here?"
I cast Arlo's best friend hat.
On the chef?
But I know. And I say, your chefness. I've come to learn the ways of chefery.
He will sort of slowly lean forward, and you see his large stomach just bend inwards as he leans forward. And he'll squint at you and he'll go, "What are you talking about, chefery?"
I would like to learn how to cook exquisite foods.
You want to learn from me?
I don't know other chefs, but I heard that you're a very good chef. In fact, the man you fired said that it was an honor to have worked beside you even for a short time, and so I thought I would come to you and see if you would teach me the culinary arts.
You watch as he sort of straightens his back and then laughs for a good 2 or 3 minutes. And he's just laughing while the different line chefs and waiters are buzzing around you, knowing that they get no chance at break.
If
And
it's 2 or 3 minutes, I'm gonna join it at some point.
Okay. You also start laughing. And the chef will lean forward. Oh, I don't know what's happening outside. There's sounds. The bird is losing her shit. That's what the sounds are. He'll lean forward and sort of like take a large hand and pat you on the shoulder, which very nearly collapses you. And he'll go, that is, you have he'll look around the kitchen and go like, Emmanuel, what's the word? And he goes, balls, sir? He's like, yes, you have balls. I like that. We can figure something out, maybe. But, you have to show me what you can do, yes?
Okay.
And he'll walk forward and just with one hand sweep one of the chefs away from one of the stations and put you forward, and he will put half a tomato in front of you, and he will stick a knife into the cutting board. He'll go, okay, go. Do your chefery.
And I do. I pick up the knife and I cut the tomatoes.
All right. Do performance.
Okay.
Okay. He looks at you and he goes, your form is shit, but you have passion. And that I can get behind. Why you're the little one that wants to cook for his friends, right?
Yeah.
That's cute, but it's stupid. I'll be honest.
Oh.
Why would a chef who wants the talents of me want to cook for his friends? You can cook for so many more people. You can cook for the world.
I guess I want to cook for the world. Eventually, I want to cook for the world, but just for right now, I only have like 6 or so mouths to feed. But like if I train under you and with them and practice, maybe one day other mouths will be delighted by my chefery skills.
Where do you plan on taking your chefery?
All over. I take my music everywhere, so I imagine dinner and a show
is gimmicky, but it could work. And he'll turn to one of the line chefs and go, un poisson! And one of them just sort of tosses a fish at him. You see, he catches it in the air and lays it in front of you and goes, this fish, it is dead, yes?
It is dead. I confirm. I checked its pulse.
It is dead.
I roll an investigation check.
He will look at you and go, good. You will also be dead. If you get in the way. You can be with me for a week.
Okay.
If you get in anyone's way, they will be fired, you will be fired. Also, no pay. This is not that kind of establishment.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not looking for pay. I want experience.
Experience. Okay. I will take you in the back. I will show you experience, yes?
Okay.
Yes. And he will lead you towards the back room you had been in before. And you see there's still that little pen in the corner with the pig. Mm-hmm. And he'll go, you want to experience the world, yes? You are onto something, but I do not think you understand what experience really means. Where have you been?
I've been to this city, and I've been to several. I don't know the places.
That's fine. You can say some of the holds. Yeah.
Yeah, I've traveled to some of the holds with my parents' caravan, and I went to a crypt.
You went to a crypt?
Yeah. You know how everyone had nightmares a little while ago?
Oh yes, there's so much complaining. I had it. Do you think it stopped me? No. You keep
No,
working.
I don't. Yeah, of course, I didn't think it would. Being
As
such
if
a great
some
chef,
ghost can prevent me from doing my work.
I prevented the ghost from creating nightmares.
That is good, but it will not help you with cooking.
No, of course not.
You
But
can.
those are the places I've been.
You've been through a crypt. You've been through some of the holes.
Yeah.
And you're one of the better bears, yes?
Yes.
You make decent wine, but wine is not a meal. And it is all industrial. Wine is I like wine, don't get me wrong. But you cannot just make wine. That's not a meal. That is not. You need diversity. You
I've
need
always thought
different
our
things.
wine needed something to go with.
That would help, perhaps, your business model. But I am no business expert. I simply cook. Do you see the pig? What do
I
you
see the
see when
pig.
you look at the pig?
Living bacon.
That's close enough. There are more cuts from a pig, though. You have to widen your mind. You look at the pig and you go, "Oh, it is food. It is a meal." And you can take the pig and you can slaughter it. And from the pig can be so many things. It is alive now, yes, but that is a hassle. You can end that. The important part is that there are many sections of the pig, many cuts of the pig, and you take the pig and you sell the pig, and people go, "Oh, more pig," and then you're good. But you cannot just have pig. A meal cannot be just pig, so you need other things. And he'll sort of sweep around the room and he'll go, "You have spices and you have herbs and you have vegetables and you have all these different meats and things." And you take them and you shove them together, and what you'll do on the road is you'll put them in a pot, you know? What you seem to like cooking. Have you cooked anything, or do you just make stew?
I've cooked 2 stews.
Stew is not food. You put it in a tin. Stew is good for one thing, and that is for soldiers, because they are brain dead. They wish to die for a country. They are welcome to go run off and do that and eat their stew. Stew is not for chefs. And you want to be a chef, no?
I want to be a chef. I want to make meals. I want to pair my proteins with roughage and flavor it.
He will look at you and sort of grimly nod. And he'll go, "Okay. What you have the pickings from the cabinet. What do you want to make?"
Does it? I think let's do a some kind of fish with maybe a white sauce and seasoned rice and
Alright.
and maybe something for dessert.
Okay. He will sort of pat you on the back and go, "Good, you make that. I will taste it after hours. I have work to do. And remember,
Okay.
do not get in the way. You will end up like fish. Understood?"
Okay.
And he will walk out the room. After hours, after sort of banging and lots of yelling and you squeezing between many people running around, you manage to put together, in your eyes, a pretty good meal. You've made fish, you've done your sauce, you have rice. What are you doing for dessert?
So the fish is gonna be like a lemon cream sauce.
Okay.
With some with some vegetables on the side, maybe like a dill garnish. Dessert, I want to make little like fucking what are they called? Like butter tarts. I want to
Okay.
make butter tarts.
All right. You set to work, and you make your meal. You can put it together. You have your tarts. You have your fish, and after hours, whilst most of the other like chefs have started filtering out, returning home, seeing to their families, different things like that. One of them sort of walks up and goes, Is your meal complete, sir?
I'm just putting the finishing touches on it. I like add some dry spice and the dill garnish, and like I like spiral cut a lemon wedge and like set it on top of the fish.
All right.
And yeah, I think I'm good. I'm good. And then I like shave a little bit of the lemon, like I zest the fish.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The waiter will give you a deep bow and take the plate out through the hall to the main room.
All right.
And,
And I pour a glass of better berry wine.
For yourself or for the show?
One for me, one for him.
Okay. You can sip your wine to sort of steady your nerves.
Yeah.
You sort of sit in very tense silence for what feels like hours. Where you sit there and wait for your feedback. Eventually the waiter comes back and takes the tarts from you and then leaves again. And you just sort of sit there in the chef room. You watch as eventually the lights in the lantern slowly dim and then cut out. And you're just sort of left in darkness while you sit there. And after a while, trout and corn. The chef or the waiter will come back and he'll sort of open the tarp and he'll go, oh, you're still back here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Should I come out?
yeah, yes, let's get you out.
Okay, I toddle out.
He will sort of with a smile lead you out, and you see at one of the tables is the finished plate of the tarts and the fish. And you see there is like the finished glass of wine, and it's just all sort of there on the plate. The chef's nowhere to be seen. And the waiter walks up and goes, I suggest maybe coming back tomorrow? He grimaced, and then he gave a bit of a grunt, and he mumbled something in, I guess, Parisian. And then he left.
Oh, is that bad?
Well, last time someone tried to do an apprenticeship, they didn't make it out of the building, so I'd say so.
But you say it's bad? I feel like I've survived. I don't know how to take that. But okay, we'll try. I'll come back tomorrow.
The waiter will lean in and go, I'll tell you a secret. My family has expectations of me. That is why I'm here. I have no idea what that man says or does. He's a wild man, but best of luck.
That's fair.
And the waiter will sort of walk you out and then go back to cleaning up the dishes.
Okay. Okay, I leave. I go back to my car.
The next day, you can return. And, next day, what do you want to do?
Yeah, no, like, as soon as I figure I know when it opens, right?
Yeah, you can have
when to be there. Yeah, I want to be there, like...
Do you want to go at, when the restaurant opens, or when people are there working?
No, yeah, when the worker's there, I'm gonna show up.
Okay.
And like if I get the sense that I'm gonna be in the way, I'd stay back. But
okay.
Yeah.
At like 5 a.m., you wake up, roll out of bed, and start heading towards the restaurant. And you see, while you're walking, there's that sort of nice pale blue on all the buildings and the streets and the few individuals that are up this early. And there's just that nice soft blue as you walk towards the restaurant, and everything's sort of calm. And as you enter through the entrance, you see the same waiter from last night. He looks at you a little surprised and then gives a smile and a slight bow.
I give him a big thumbs up.
Let's go.
Still alive.
And you can enter the back, where you'll see the chef shouting and barking orders at people. He seems to be working on a meal himself. And he's sort of just ordering around, and out of the corner of his eye, he seems to glance you, and not fully looking at you, just over his shoulder goes, Fish boy's back.
It's me, fish boy.
The sauce was okay. Needed much more finesse. You will get better. Um, how about you work online today, and we'll figure it out. And then he looks at one of the chefs and goes, Marquis, if he fucks up, you are fired. And Marquis goes, yes, sir, and rushes over you and drags you to one of the stations.
Okay, I comply. I don't want to get fired.
And you can spend the day working. You have a few bruises by the end as sort of pans and meals go flying when the chef's unhappy with them.
Yeah.
At one point, you see he walks into the back room and he walks back out holding the pig by the throat with one hand.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, Emmanuel, have this butchered. And he tosses it at Emmanuel, who very nearly collapses from the weight, and sort of tries to drag the pig reluctantly out of the building.
I give Emmanuel bardic inspiration.
What do you have to sing for bardic inspiration, or are you just
Sure,
silently
yeah.
doing it? Okay, what are you singing?
I'm just gonna like hum a little tune because I don't want to be intrusive.
All right.
But yeah, I just hum and he gains bardic inspiration.
Okay. While you hum, you are sort of humming and looking at Emmanuel, and you see Emmanuel looks back at you with a sort of smile as he feels more reinvigorated. And then you feel a sort of slight breeze, and then a loud thunk, and you look up to see impaled in the wall in front of you is a sort of like a square chef's knife, just sort of embedded in the wall.
Huh.
And the chef will look at you and go, "No singing in my kitchen.
Okay.
I will not miss next time."
I'm not furious.
And he'll go back to work. And throughout the week, you can get slightly better. You're learning different things. Marquis helps you with a few things. Emmanuel returns with the pig. They make a sort of big feast, and you're picking up on things. You really don't want to get in the way, but you are sort of hopping about between people, seeing what they're doing, working online when you can, and everything just sort of keeps revolving. And eventually, you start to realize that what was just pure chaos the few times you came in is remarkably well organized. And you see that the chef he's yelling at people and he's barking orders, but he also is making sure everyone is moving to the right place at the right time. And there are no incidents, no one bumps into each other. At one point, one of the younger chefs, David, runs into someone and is immediately removed from the kitchen. And everything, that sort of chaotic whirl starts to sort of make sense and everything pieces together. And on the last day, the chef will sort of put a hand up and you watch as the entire kitchen just stops like that. And everyone freezes, holding what they're doing, stops whatever they're doing, and just turns and stares.
Mm-hmm.
And the chef will go, "All of you out, fish boy stay." And the chefs and the waiters will file out.
It's my time now. I die.
And you will go, I have been looking at you throughout the week. You will probably not kill your friends. If you want to cook for them on the road, they probably won't get ill, and that is, I mean, the law is a bit iffy this day. This is why I have to keep missing with my knives. It's horrendous. To think that, and he sort of steps back and he's like, to think that I have to send my chefs away into the world to go ruin someone else's taste. It's horrendous. They should be put to the sword. If you cannot impress me, you should not impress anyone. And to be fair, you have not impressed me. But you could one day, so maybe. Do not come back until you have. And he'll step back and he'll go, to be a chef, is to learn and is to taste and is to experience the world around you. Yes?
I couldn't agree more.
Good, good. Glad you seem to understand. And he says something about bootlickers under his breath. He'll go, eventually you will learn to disagree and have your own opinions, but now's not the place. If you can go see the world's tastes and not, no crits. They do not have good food, very stale or dead. And not the good kind of dead, not like the fish. You will go and you will see sort of different foods and you can experience them and you can taste the world, and when you have done that you can return and mayhaps you will make a better sauce. Maybe. And that will be a good start.
I will return and make a better sauce.
Good. Do not come back tomorrow. We need to actually work, and frankly you are an obstacle. But
Thank you for your time.
yeah. Do not kill your friends. It would be... I do not want that on my conscience. I can deal with dead pig and dead Emmanuel, but I can't... You're small, young. I don't want that death on my conscience. Go fucking... He sort of shoos you out of the room.
Thank you. And I go off. I go off in the world to cook.
Alright. Arlo, you've learned how... the very beginnings of how to cook. Arlo's a young chef on the run.
Let's go.
Alright. Did Musical figure out her mic?
Ah!
Yeah, it sounds like Musical figured out her mic.
Well, Musical just repaired her headphones, earbud thingies.
Well, that works. You still sound good. Alright. 3 down. What time is it? We're an hour in?
8 p.m. Eastern.
It is 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll do... I mean, your mic's fixed, so we can keep going. Hey, Shang. You're next.
Okay.
Alright. So, Shang, to clarify, you wanted to get a Naginata, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. One of the nights while you're sort of waiting in the tavern, you're sort of sitting there, not quite asleep, but just sort of in the darkness, staring at the ceiling, left in your own thoughts. And you feel a growing pain in your chest and your body, and you sort of sit up and you feel that sort of cold sweat begin to emerge around your body, and your chest is heaving up and down and up and down. And it's as if your body's gone on full alert. Just sitting in the room. And you can look around and everyone else is either slumbering or out on the town, but the common room's dead quiet, except for you standing there or sitting up, just your body responding to terror. As that sort of raises, you feel that same presence you felt before slowly just sort of wash over your body. And whilst your body continues to sort of panic and almost shut down, your mind begins to drift away from that and begins to focus on, you really need to get out of this room. Like you feel claustrophobic or trapped, and it is overwhelming. And what do you do?
Draw my sword and walk out the room.
Alright. You can draw your sword and walk out. You walk down the steps and towards the main sort of entranceway of the inn. Your steps getting a bit more faster as you approach the door. And you will burst out, and standing in that middle of the open road, you sort of stumble out to stand there and look up, and in the night sky is the moon directly above you, staring directly down on you. and that same presence, it begins to not just envelop you, but almost drag you. And you feel, not a voice, but a sort of thought. Like your brain begins to having conflicting thoughts. And the thought of you need to leave the city is just pounding in your head. And every step you take, you feel the moon growing almost more direct and more overbearing as it watches you, just uncaring as you walk out of the city. That presence will keep drawing you, stumbling through the main gate where there are guards stationed at the gate, and you watch as they look forward and don't even seem to notice you as you walk forward and out the gate and through, out of the walls into the wilderness and the hills around town. And you watch as the guards just keep staring forward. One of them's making small talk about the wife. One of them's talking about dinner he had recently. And you just, as if nothing's there, you just waft through. And as you look down, you see that your body is almost not incorporeal, but kind of shattered. Like pieces of it are fragmenting off as you walk. And the moon will lead you into the hills around town, where you see a caravan that has made camp for the night. And you sort of, in the distance, you see the embers of a campfire, and different sort of wagons strewn about, a few horses, and what looks like individuals like lying on the ground around the camp. Can you make a perception check?
I forget where that is. Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Shit.
You notice that the bodies aren't sleeping, they're dead. And you notice that a lot of there's more individuals there than there would be to be able to be in those wagons. That's all you can see from this distance.
Walk forward.
All right. As you walk forward, you see that those bodies, what you thought were initially sleeping and then later realized are dead, most of them aren't just dead. There's very clearly been a struggle. There's sort of limbs strewn about and blood just glistening in the moonlight as you walk forward, and different individuals have been like killed or disemboweled on different angles of the caravan. And you see at the very center, near the embers of the campfire, is a face you're more familiar with. At the center, surrounded by the bodies of bandits and thugs holding swords or knives or like clubs, is an Oni warrior. It's his body sort of mangled on the ground, and as you walk forward, you see the rest of your vision almost darken until the moonlight is seemingly only touching the warrior, and a sort of blood and skin glistening, his eyes dead and hollow, and at his side is a large naginata, a polearm, just sort of on the ground covered in blood.
What could have happened here?
A voice will sort of pipe up from behind you and will go, "The warrior was weak."
Weak. As in weak-willed?
As in undeserving.
Of what?
His gifts. Unlike you.
Gifts. You. You must be Tsukuyomi.
And the voice will sort of chuckle, and you feel as it transfers from like your left side to your right side, and is seemingly all around you. And the voice will go, "You don't plan on disappointing, do you?"
Well, I don't want to end up like them, so I suppose not.
Good. Claim his weapon.
I'll walk up and take the weapon.
Alright. As your hand touches it, you feel and see as the weapon sort of begins to glisten and then shine with a brighter and brighter sort of gray light, just sweeping over the entire area. And you see in clear, almost like daytime detail, the fight that took place, and you watch as your mind sort of just, you become acutely aware of every drop of blood and every life that has been taken by this weapon. And you feel hundreds of souls just gone. And as the weapon sort of sits there and begins to vibrate in your hand, there's a loud, or not a loud, there's a very bright flash of light, and you go blinded for a second. And as you come to, in your hand is not the naginata you picked up, but a sort of twisted version. And you see aspects of the weapon you stole from your house has been embedded into the weapon. And you see it has your house crest on one side and a small symbol to Tsukuyomi on Yomi on the other side. And the sort of metal weapon feels very, very heavy in your hands, but not like metal is heavy. Like there's weight to this. It's seen a lot. As you sort of tighten your grip around the weapon and get used to its hold, you feel a sort of cold breeze coming from the body in front of you, and you see the head of the Oni warrior with a concerning sort of glisten and crack begins to lift out of the body, taking much of the spine with it, and it sort of peels out and walks towards you, and the sort of floating head of the Oni warrior floats up to your face to look at you at eye level, and the voice that you heard before will go, "Do not disappoint. His god could not save him. Do not forget that. You are mine." And then the voice fades, and the head, sort of staring unflinchingly at you, also slowly fades, and you sort of, your vision begins to get hazy and darker, and then you are suddenly standing on the hills outside the city, a naginata in one hand, and interesting experience in your mind. And you see the sun beginning to break over the city, and people beginning to wake up, mill about, and you are sitting there in the grasses. What would you like to do?
Sit there and mull over what just happened.
That's fair. All right. You sit, sort of analyzing the weapon, and thinking on what happened. And you can return to the city when you feel a bit more put together. You do know that that sort of pain in your chest and the sweat and the just unflinching presence is gone. As the sun gets slowly higher in the sky, you feel far more alone. It is just you now in this field. You and a weapon and the burdens the weapon bears. All right. Hey, Vanessa, you're next.
Hello.
We'll move on. All right.
All right. I'm gonna close my door so my dog doesn't start barking.
Amazing.
All right. Yes.
On a lighter tone, because Vanessa, you don't have to deal with cursed gods.
I love it.
Okay. Twyla, one of the nights during the week, you sort of wake up in the inn, restless. And you feel there's not a lot of noise. There's the sort of creaking and skittering of mice running over, like the roofs or in the hallway, but it's very, very quiet and calm, and you know that there is adventure to be had.
So,
What do you want to do?
I will very quietly, I would dare say roguelike, sneak out, feel the sense of adventure surrounding me, and I'm like, this is uncharted territory. I want to make the most of it, and I want to make sure that I get a great sense of the area. Since I've always been the adventurous type, I've always been the one who lives spontaneously, travels to foreign lands, and then pops back in at random.
Alright. As you sort of wander the city during the night, you can you see that sort of the stone streets and the buildings and all their history just laid before you. And you scurry from alleyway to alleyway, across rooftops. You see the sort of dim bouncing lights of guards on patrol walking from one angle of the city to the other. You see the inner city in its sort of majesty, the great scale, the keep standing there. You see different lights sort of flicker on or off as people light candles or lanterns in their houses. And the almost serene calm of a city at rest. Whilst you're perched on one of the buildings, sort of just looking over the nighttime cityscape, you hear a small sort of chirping from behind you, like a chittering.
First off, do my best to sort of take cover and try not to be so exposed, and I turn around to figure out what the chittering is.
All right. You wheel around, defensive, hand on your weapon, and you see a small mouse looking at you, large round ears, and it scutters up and it sees you wheel around and immediately sort of hops back like 2 feet.
I immediately just move my hand off of my weapon, and I sort of put both of them up, and I'm like, oh, it was just a little mouse. Okay, all right. Hi there, buddy. And I do my best to make sure I don't look intimidating, which isn't very hard considering considering the circumstances. But right. I do my best to sort of put my head, lean a little forward, and try to befriend the mouse.
The mouse will slowly take a few steps forward, and you hear in a tiny squeaking voice, it goes, Do you have food?
I immediately perk up and side question, do I have food?
You should have rations, yeah.
Okay, cool. I reach into my bag, no questions asked, and I go, of course I have food. What traveler doesn't carry a little bit to eat here and there? And I pull out a couple rations, and I'm assuming that since the mouse is kind of small, it doesn't need too much, but I make sure to give them as much as they see fit.
Okay. You give I almost said the chef. Dizzy, you ruined me. You
Sorry.
give the mouse a tiny little selection of different foods. There's like dried meat, some nuts, and berries. And the mouse will sort of nibble on it, and you see every time between bites it goes, "Thank you, thank you," between every single bite as it sort of downs it.
Yeah.
No, go.
Oh, okay. I shake my head, and the entire time I'm like, it is no problem whatsoever. Honestly, considering, my stature, I usually don't require that much food by 3 a.m. So this is no burden whatsoever. I'm more than happy to share.
The mouse will sort of squeak and look up at you, and will go, You gave me food? I give you shiny. And it perks up, and then it starts scurrying away down the building.
I am perplexed. I look around, and I'm like, all right, I guess this is happening. I kind of just plop myself down, just waiting for the mouse to come back, because I'm like, you know what? This is what I'm looking for. I was looking for adventure, and at least I get to make a little friend out of it too.
All right. The mouse will sort of scurry away, and you hear its little pitter patter get quieter and quieter. And then, about 20 minutes later, there's that same pitter patter, and then there's a squeak next to you, and it sort of, with a heave for the tiny mouse, drops a small, sort of beat up, dented silver coin next to you. And it goes, You like shiny?
I cry on the inside first off. But I looked down at it and I was like, I get in my head. I'm like, how do I teach the the abstract concept of money to this mouse, or do I take it graciously and accept more food? I look down and I look back at the mouse and I'm like, I'll only accept this if you'll take more food. And I take out more of my rations. I put it down, and I sort of do like a exchange hand kind of gesture. I'm like, if I do take from you, you get more.
The mouse will squeak pretty happily, instead of run in a small circle, and then go, Yes, I like food. And will take its sort of face and shove the silver coin closer to you. I can give shiny, you give food.
I nod my head, because I have a feeling that, just in terms of a gracious exchange, this might be the polite thing to do. But I make sure to grab the largest ration bag out of all of them too, just because, again, just I'm not exploiting a mouse.
Okay.
There's no concept of a financial situation.
The mouse will gladly take the bag from you, and you see it sort of drags it to the edge of the roof, and it looks at you and goes, and you see it posture up, as if it's trying to be professional for a very, very small mouse. And it will go, Luna likes food. You like shiny. Luna give human shiny. Or, sorry, give rabbit shiny. And the mouse will lean forward, grab the bag, and will drag it off the roof and toss it down, and then squeak at you one more time and hop off the roof.
I don't know what to do right now.
You can add one battered silver coin to your inventory.
Awesome. All right. And I'm assuming it's the FP. Or
The FP?
S?
Oh, yeah, you can add it to your silver. That is where silver is, yes.
All right, cool.
Right.
Yeah. Alrighty.
All right. Eventually,
Do I-
you can go
Yes.
through the rest of the night, sort of sitting on the rooftops and watching the city sort of breathe to life as people begin to wake up and the sun begins to crest, and you watch that sort of lovely morning glimmer as all the windows in town begin to sparkle and everyone begins to step up and wake up, go to their days. You see people hustling and bustling about, carts begin to move, people begin to head out to breakfast, and you should probably head back to the inn. And there
Yeah.
you go. All right.
Awesome.
With that, we're gonna go on break for like 5 to 10 minutes. So come back at like 5:30. And yeah, there you go. Also, I'll probably just not mute, but we are on the be right back screen now.
So you're saying we should argue about food again?
Yeah, you're welcome to. It's been a theme.
It's not my fault y'all are wrong.
Thank you, Musical.
No, I think we
Question,
are wild.
when all this was in progress of creation, were you hungry?
Me?
Yeah.
I asked you guys for prompts. That's not on me. Dizzy wanted to cook. I will gladly talk about cooking, but
I'm not a metagamer, that's why I took chef.
chef is the best feat because it lets you cook, and that's incredible. Why would you want to be able to like punch things harder when you could make fucking food from the dragons you kill?
Fish.
Isn't technically draconic meat poisonous?
Not if you prepare it right.
Yeah, exactly. Hothead knows.
Yeah. One, you have to prepare it right. Two, if you haven't gotten the memo, this is super fucking homebrewed.
That's one way to put it.
We are running like a half bunny person party.
Yeah.
Woo! Buddy
Buddy.
person party.
It's not poison if you prepare it right, or you're not a coward.
Yeah, let's go.
I think it's still poison.
It is still poison if you're not a coward.
Non-food.
I don't think being not a coward just makes you immune to poison. Like
Good thing.
There are a
Does
lot
in
of things
Dizzy's
that make
world.
you immune to poison, though.
I love the breaks because I get to catch up on all the wild shit you guys say in the chat while I'm talking.
Yeah, Lord.
Well, part of the point is so we're not interrupted.
No, I
got things
appreciate
need to
it.
write down I
I
wanna do
appreciate
before
it quite a
forget 'em.
bit. I like the balance of you guys talking in chat and not just screaming over each other. It's good.
Oh, do you not see it,
Jesus
like, as
Christ,
we're
musical. What's up, Dizzy?
Do you not see it as like we're typing it?
I do, but when I'm balancing stream notes Roll20, I see the new notification in the corner of my eye and cannot take the time to read it.
Ah,
That's fair. That is more than fair.
I do not have the cerebral capacity to read what you guys are writing and talk and listen, and then also read what I wrote down to remember to say it.
I'm all gonna
That's
start
why I at you if I actually need you to look at it.
Yeah. Did you say we all have to start somewhere, does it?
Yeah.
You fucking Dio.
No.
Fuck sakes.
No, I tried. That's not me.
I think you'd make a fucking excellent DM. I just think you tried to do like writing and shit way too much.
Yeah.
You gotta get your own style.
Yeah.
I mean, look at me, Dizzy. Even I started DMing.
I don't care enough about my story. Like I'm a
Yeah, that's fine.
decent DM, and but it must be ad lib. I can't.
That's fine.
I
That
can
sounds like a
really
good
give
fucking
fuck about
campaign.
the story I'm writing.
You ad-libbing a campaign sounds wonderful.
oh, I need to change my fucking sword. Maybe that-
Yeah, you now have a Naginata and no more sword.
I have two
Oh, no.
projects I need to work on, and one of them will involve guns. Technically, two of them.
Just a handful of guns.
Let's go.
Just a lad and his gun
Listen, man, I'm about to be strapped in 3 levels.
in 3 levels.
I got plans, brother.
I
I need to up my
I have-
dexterity, though. That's the issue. So it's gonna be a hot minute before I can do that.
I need to up mine too. Yeah.
Dizzy, have you tried using someone else's campaign setting?
No,
Like,
never.
that's why they're published, aren't they?
Yeah.
I have Curse of Strahd. I got it for Christmas and I haven't done anything with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should try that, Dizzy.
No, Gunnar.
I guarantee you can find something that'll vibe with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I will. At some point, probably within the next decade, give or take.
Yeah,
I'll-
I'm good with
That's
that.
I guess it'd this be like a glaive, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think glaive is the fucking D&D name. Because we don't do those Asian things.
I mean,
So
we have
instead-
a katana. We have one
No,
thing.
we don't have a katana. It's just longsword, isn't it?
No,
Yeah,
It's just
katana.
longsword.
What?
I'm pretty sure it's just longsword.
I was looking for it.
Yeah,
It's
Oh,
just
okay, that was
longsword,
probably
longsword.
that was probably a third-party thing I had in Aurora then.
yeah. They can.
Never mind, I lied.
Some of the D&D books will publish like alternatives, so they'll go like, "Oh, for this campaign setting, you should rename like blank as blank." They'll go like long sword's a
know-
katana and short sword's a fucking wakizashi. And there
I
you go.
know that monk weapons they flavor a whole lot of things, so that'd
Yeah.
be your like the Naginata and Yari spears, I believe.
Mhm.
Like those
Oh my
those two
God.
were listed by name, but yeah, it literally tells you, hey, use these stats, use this thing, call it this.
I can't hear the word Yari without thinking of Shogun 2 Total War, and just lines and lines of poor fucking peasants dying to arrow fire. That is all that
I
is.
played
in
that
that
game
game.
like once and I lost interest.
I love Total War so much.
I never got
I
into it.
loved RTS games when I was in college, but now I just can't sit through them anymore.
Mm.
Do I need
Oh,
added
I
glaive
can't look at that.
proficiency?
My
What?
Yeah, because isn't
brain
that
no
from
big.
your what the fuck was your feat?
Polearm master.
Yeah, does that give you proficiency in it?
Yeah.
Does it? I don't see it anywhere.
It does. It does.
Okay.
And there you go.
Alright,
I would add a
next level up, I'm
proficiency.
taking Gunner. Or next chance I'm able to, I'm taking Gunner.
Yeah, what is that? Is that 8? That's next feat?
8, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
For
Oh, we
anybody,
don't
anybody that's not a fighter, it should be 8.
It is fucking wild that we're 6 sessions in.
Right?
I don't.
I am amazed we've lasted this long without
Right?
TPK.
We fuck up so much faster in every other campaign we've had. This is going very well. Very happy.
Well, I mean, Dizzy hasn't cooked us anything yet. We could still die.
D&D Wiki has a Naginata for 5e.
Yeah, and what is its stats? Is it like
1d6 slashing, finesse
Hey,
versatile 1d8,
what
heavy
the
reach
fuck?
special.
What was that published in?
Looks like a homebrew.
Oh well then.
There's
Okay,
the problem.
there you go.
But it's basically glaive, but with just detachable blade.
Yeah, but it also has finesse, which is fucking wild.
Yeah, that is a bit nutty.
I think that's finesse and way less damage, right? You said D6.
Yeah.
I think glaive is a shit ton, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, glaive's a lot. Glaive's D10, yeah.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
damage.
Yeah, damage.
Shang's about to have 2 things giving him a D10.
Yeah.
I could have just not opened roll 20 thus far and nothing would have changed.
Shang's character balance is shit tons of damage and not a whole lot of survivability, but you know one can pray.
Last cannon.
Listen,
the-
it's,
do
it's
the
the
damage and
age-old
hope.
it's the age-old strategy of kill them before they kill you.
But there's nothing more
Yeah.
anime than you being glass cannon and doing wild
Yes.
magic shit and then getting one tapped by a dragon.
Yeah.
Did you take green flame too?
Yeah.
Green
Yeah.
Flame blade.
Yeah.
I did take that.
Look at this guy. Oh yeah. Speaking of, I have a familiar to summon eventually.
Yeah, you're fun familiar now.
So does Vanessa have a familiar too? A mouse
Yeah.
Mouse.
familiar?
Yeah, Vanessa's fun
I
familiar. I'm pretty
apparently
sure.
do have a familiar that I rediscovered today. So
Vanessa did not
That's
know
fun.
that she chose Arcane Trickster, but
Yep.
she chose Arcane
Yep.
Trickster and has had spells.
Making
Yeah.
musical proud.
Let's go.
Yay! Hey, Rogue's got a lot of moving parts, okay?
We're gonna get sneak attack, absolute heathen.
Yes, yes!
It's got a
I'm
lot
never
of
gonna live
moving
that
parts.
down. I'm never gonna live down face tanking as an untransformed druid.
That was the best moment of Devil's Rising for me.
Yeah.
Was watching your guys' like 7-foot tall barbarian just chucking javelins from behind the untransformed 4-foot tall druid.
What else?
We are good at D&D.
Excellent.
We have the best tactics, okay?
What would I even call like the bonus action for this fucking attack?
What is?
The bonus action under polearm masters that I just fucking jab them with the butt end of the polearm. What do I even call that? Just a jab?
Yeah,
Jab.
just go jab.
Jabby jab.
Jab.
Jabby jab.
Jabby jab.
I'm not calling it jabby jab.
Hit him with the old jabby jab, you know what I'm saying?
Fuck's sakes.
I'm not calling it jabby
Oldest trick in the book.
Whack him in the knees.
Whack him in the knees.
Shorts, gloves,
Breathe
go to the
the
kneecaps!
Fuck's sakes.
Sweep the leg!
Okay,
Sweep the leg!
I'm gonna take this mug out and then we're gonna get started. So start
Okay.
prepping or finishing up things.
What's
The
in the
weapon's
mug?
damage die for this attack is 1d4, and the damage and the attack deals bludgeoning. Wait, do I add a charisma mod to that, or is that just like a flat d4? Sounds like just a flat d4, right?
It should be
What is it?
like the same stats. Actually, oh god.
It's
Is
a
it gonna be
flat
shrink?
D4 for the polearm master.
Gotcha.
Oh god, I forgot I don't have second level spells.
You fool.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay, never mind. I got all the spells I can prepare. I'll take no second level spells in place of, or I would take my giant cannon that can give HP, burn people, and also snipe people over no second level spells for a while.
Fire!
Basically.
Fire, 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 fire.
And I'm gonna be needing it a whole lot because apparently a met can't hit the broadside of a barn.
Yeah, probs.
So I simply make the enemy roll saves.
Hey.
Yeah, but I can cook.
I'll learn eventually.
I can yell at you in multiple languages.
Don't take this from me.
Nah. You think I met would cook? Nah.
I'm
We're
very
meaning
excited
to
about
learn how to cook one of these days.
Man. He's a rich college kid through and through.
Yep, I knew a bunch of those in school.
Freaking rich people.
Wait, why are we bitching about rich people?
Cause I was talking about having a cannon in place of second level spells for a hot minute.
Yeah?
And Dizzy said, but I can cook, and I was like, I'll learn eventually. Just kidding. I met's a rich college kid through and through.
Yeah, no, that's never learning to cook.
Never learning to cook.
It'll be an
I'm learning
achievement
little
when
by
Ahmet learns
little,
how to
and I'm
make
in my
eggs.
late 30s.
You know, you gotta
What'd you-
start somewhere.
What'd you say, Aiden?
That it'll be a miracle if Ahmet learns how to cook eggs.
Yeah, right. Toasting them.
We
on
gotta get
the
Ahmet
hot
able to
barrel
boil
of the-
water first.
Listen,
Oh,
man.
God.
Anything dealing with fire, the man's proficient in.
Nobody should ever make noodles in a microwave.
That does seem bad.
People cook noodles in microwaves. That's
If we-
terrible.
No, I just boil water, then dump it on the noodle.
No, that would
Not,
make
wait,
sense.
not like
If
Not
we
like
ever need a,
instant
if we
noodles,
ever
like
need
No,
an
like
impromptu
cooking
stove.
raw noodles to cooked in a microwave.
That sounds
That's
dangerous.
wild.
That's how you get fired.
how do you feel about eggs in a microwave?
Terrible. Don't
Yeah.
do that.
That's the worst, huh?
Don't put any eggs in a microwave.
I'm
Dizzy,
about to
just don't
invent
cook.
microwave just to commit
Okay.
cooking heresy.
Alright, I'm going down the list. That's,
Da,
Yay.
da, da, da.
what fucking time is it? Well, we have like an hour and a half, yeah?
It's 8:34 p.m.
Okay, so we have an hour and a half.
Yes, sir.
We might not actually go to 10 tonight. We'll see.
I might get some extra sleep.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't
'cause I
mind
have to make server changes at
ending
6
a
in the
little
morning.
bit. Jesus. Okay. Hothead, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Dizzy, are you ready?
You know it.
For sure, man. Fergo, are you ready?
Supposedly.
Okay. Musical, are you ready?
I sound fine.
Shang, are you ready?
Yep.
Vanessa, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Alright. So, after your guys' week of spontaneous adventures, the week's gone by. You guys have settled in. You've done what you needed to do or what you wanted to do. Obviously, Arlo's gotten his new chicken coop sort of up and running by now. You've gotten a lot of the painting done. Not all of it, but it's able to go on the road by now, which is nice. And after the sort of week, you guys will all wake up in your respective common rooms at the inn to a sort of light 3-tap knock on both of your guys' doors, like both groups' doors.
I will get up and opens the door.
All right. The barkeep will look down and go, "Oh, hello, Phil. I was checking if anybody wants a spot of breakfast."
I
That
want
would be
Sure
great.
thing.
All right, lovely.
I hop out of bed.
Breakfast sounds
When
nice.
did all of you wake up? You were just sleeping.
I've been awake for quite a while.
Elves don't need a lot of sleep.
I'm used to getting up at 5 a.m. and being a chef now.
The barkeep
How-
sort of looks between all of you. Sorry, go on, Shay.
How did that go, Arlo?
I think pretty well. So the chef I learned under is like this really snooty, like intense chef person, and he said my food was uninspired, and so, and he said it wouldn't kill anybody, but I think it tastes phenomenal and pretty good, and yeah, I don't know. I think I'm good at cooking now.
All right.
Oh,
Not
you should
impressed.
write your mother and let her know. She'll be interested to hear that.
Yeah, I should really write a letter back home, huh?
Oh,
It's
speaking
gone for
of, I have a
minute.
letter I need to write.
The barkeep will look over this sort of combined mess of individuals that have been staying with her for a few weeks now.
Would you like an assistance with preparation for the breakfast?
Yeah, certainly. What do you know how to make?
I just like fucking mouth agape staring at
She'll
fucking Fergor's character.
she'll lean sort of around Fel and go, "Arlo, you're welcome to help too."
Okay.
I am able to clean fish, cut fish, fry the fish, got it as well if needed. Very decent at cooking shaft rats with the help of my compatriot.
If I eat another shaft rat,
I
somebody's
would
dying.
not recommend eating shaft rat on a daily basis.
Yes, that doesn't sound good for your health, and I
Um,
don't think I can cure malnutrition.
Birds cooking more well. I can help out a little bit. I'm okay with a knife.
We should have a fresh catch. I don't know about shaft rat or bird, but we'll find you something. Will you two follow me? Everyone else, go have a seat and we'll work something out. Jesus musical. And she will lead Arlo and Fel to the back where you guys can start sort of putting breakfast together. And the rest of you can grab a table and sit around and, for the first time in the last few days, really actually see each other. You guys have largely been up to doing different things or in and out at different times. But, yeah, you guys have sat around the table and you can start to catch up.
So, what have all of you been up to?
Fel and Arlo, you are in the kitchen.
Yeah.
You can talk amongst yourselves, though. You are welcome to.
How did your magic training go, Ahmed?
You see immediately Ahmed's face just becomes strained. It
Are
was,
you okay?
let's just say, everything about how I viewed magic got changed, but I've learned. I'm currently still learning, but I now have a few more tools available to me.
Let me know if you need anything translated.
I will.
Have you been studying? What language?
Draconic, giants, and spirit.
Ah,
There's a lot of scholars in the library actually speak Draconic.
Ah, you can speak Draconic now.
spirit. I can
I'm learning. I think
I
I got a
can talk.
decent grasp on it though.
I can talk to a limited manner of spirits.
Ooh.
Amet's gonna look at Lana and in Draconic say, "If you need practice, I speak it."
In Draconic, she replies, "Excellent."
Kenshin, I can't help but notice the polearm-sized new elephant in the room.
Long story.
Is everything all right?
This is a weapon I'm more familiar with. We'll put it at that.
That's a good thing, right?
Good. Yes.
I
Okay.
won't complain with new tools available.
Alright. After a few minutes of catching up, Fel and Arlo return with your guys' meals. What are you two making for breakfast?
I am helping to cook the pork chops.
Okay. So
Yeah,
pork
we'll do
chops is
pork
on the
chops.
table.
2 pork chops. I want to do like I want to like I want to make like a nice reduction and like fucking caramelize the pork chops in it. And what do you pair with pork chops? Fucking rice?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, we're gonna do rice with like a fish sauce kind of soaked into them. I'm gonna spice it up from my cart, and I'm gonna sing to the food. I'm gonna sing to the food like butterberry wine, and yeah, we'll make that. And I want to make like little dumplings on the side for
Okay.
later. Yeah, because I can make special treats that last 8 hours.
You can make a little set of dumplings.
Yeah.
How many do you get?
I can make 4 plus my proficiency bonus, which
That's
is
7?
yeah,
Alright.
yeah.
So you can make
No,
a little...
it's 6. I can make
Okay.
6.
You can make a little grass-wrapped sort of bag of 6 dumplings for later.
Yeah.
The barkeep is impressed. And Fel and Dizzy can walk back to the table with a decently good-looking meal.
Oh shit! No, I can only make 2. My bad. I read the top part, not the bottom part.
A bag of 2 dumplings.
Yeah, I
That
got
still
dumplings.
stands. Yeah, you guys can return to the table with breakfast. The rest of you have, considering the last thing you saw Arlo and Fel cook up was Shaftrat stew, it's a increase by a large margin, and it looks and tastes and smells good. Yeah,
The
Arlo
first
and
real
Fel, you're
meal
back
in
at the
the
table.
Here's some food, guys. Eat up. I think it smells really good.
Indeed does.
Anything beats Shaftrat.
Dear
Right?
God. I think we should make a collective agreement to just never speak of that again.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Please.
It's what I've eaten for years now. I'd rather not.
How in the creator's name have you survived that long?
I mean,
You get
Creativity
used
goes a
to
long
it.
way.
I don't think I ever could.
When you've wandered for as long as I have, you get used to it.
So a lot of you've been missing for majority of the week.
Yeah, what have you been up to?
Me?
Yeah.
Every day, wake up decently early in the morning, go outside the castle gates, spray a little bit of rations, and practice on shaft rats.
See.
Agreement's already been broken.
I wasn't cooking them. I was fighting them.
A little
It's the
payback
fate
from...
they deserve.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's fair. You should always fight the shaft rat and not eat the shaft rat. Hey, I made these special dumplings, and I put down a little like serviette with 2 dumplings on it. Um, but there's only 2 of them. But like, does somebody want to try them?
Well, if it's poisoned, I'm blaming you for my own deaths. And I'm gonna pick one up and I'm gonna bite into it.
Okay. Upon consuming the dumpling, you gain 2 temporary hit points,
Ooh.
and also you could, with any of the food available, uh, spend 1 or more of your hit die to regain an extra 1d8 hit points.
Ooh.
It's resty food.
Ahmet drops the cure wounds he had prepared.
Like,
Well, certainly haven't been murdered.
right?
Well,
What's in
that's a
it?
good thing.
And I'll just continue chewing on it.
Anybody else want a dumpling?
I'll take one.
Yeah. 2 THP, my guy.
Does anybody have any plans so far as to what our next move is if we are sticking together? Because I think I have a lead that we'll find interesting.
Oh,
Mhm.
Do
Uh,
tell.
I'll hold up the letter that I was sent about a week ago at this point. I have a contact, an old friend from the Tithe, who is remaining in Petalfall for the time being and is soon leaving. However, he has informed me of a festival that is occurring in the city, and offered to host us if we should travel and visit him.
that sounds like fun.
I elbow Arlo. Where were we supposed to go next, or were we supposed to go home? Like, afraid like somewhere along the line I lost our itinerary.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to go home like a week ago.
Oh, right.
But like, well, I mean,
Others are quite concerned.
yeah, we'll just ride home. I want to go to the festival.
I look at Kenshin.
We have nothing better to do, friend.
I'm also gonna hop along and then nodding my head very enthusiastically.
Festival it is, and along the way, we will have eggs.
Oh god, I forgot about this. No. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna just walk out.
I don't understand what you guys have against the eggs.
It's not the fact that it's not the things that we have against eggs. It's the method of which we are getting these eggs along our travels.
It's fresh eggs that come with us.
That took an entire cart, and that's gonna take so much maintenance.
I've already bought a new cart. It's gonna be fine.
I
Lana
still
asks
think
him
that
that
was
fish. How much did you
so-
think of this out beforehand?
That reminds me.
A what?
Ahmet,
Oh.
I'm gonna need to teach you how to drive a cart.
Oh yeah, that was agreed on.
Yeah.
That will be interesting. I don't think I've ever done anything but ridden in the back of a cart.
You'll get the hang of it eventually.
It's so much more fun being in control of it.
I also enjoy sitting in the comfortable back and not having to worry about anything, but I'll take your word for
You
it.
know, the sun sure is nice.
Yeah?
I'm glad it's not as harsh as it is in parts of the Tithe.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's pronounced titty?
It's
No,
coming from somebody
Arlo.
who lives in the Empire of the Red Tithe. It is pronounced Tithe.
Oh. Okay.
Arlo, haven't we been there?
Have we been to the time?
Yeah, I would be amazed
out of
if you guys
character, I
had
don't
been
know.
to the Tithe.
I don't know all the places Arlo and Lana have been.
It's all good. If you have been there, that would be a story to tell. It's very, very far away.
Yeah, I don't think we've been to the tithe. or Tithy as it may be pronounced.
It's not.
No.
Sure is.
I want to say something in giant to uh Lana.
Okay.
I don't know what I want to say. I just like
We have Lana and Arlo can have their own cipher now that no one else can decode.
Yeah, you know how to make ciphers
That's
now.
part of my feat.
let's go.
So Lana and Arlo have their own cipher because Lappish apparently wasn't enough of one.
Let's fucking go.
Well, if
Pig laughing.
I have 2 more errands to run when and if we leave the city, but until then, shall we prepare?
Yeah, I mean, thanks to the mobile chicken coop, I'm ready to go at any time, at a moment's notice.
I should probably write at least to my mother and let her know we shall be delayed.
Yeah, I should do that too. I haven't spoken to anyone I know in weeks.
Under
I
her
need
breath,
no further
in Elven, Lana mutters, "Great, you could explain the chicken coop."
I say in giant. I don't know what you guys have because this chicken kid. I think this is the best idea I've ever had in my life. I'm just
That's
walking
a
around like,
low bar.
Lana's taking this as a sign that Arlo's sanity is starting to crack.
I don't get it. I don't. Maybe I am because I don't understand why mobile chickens isn't the best thing we've ever had.
Oh my.
We can take the chickens anywhere, and then we have chicken meat and eggs all the time.
Okay, everyone raise your hand if you think Disney's gonna have a mobile chicken coop by the end of the year. Out of character.
If COVID
I'd-
was out, yeah.
I'd want to see that done.
I don't think it's
You
that
owe us
hard. You just
pictures
put a
when you do
cage
it.
on a cart, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
literally.
just a few cages on the car. It's fine.
Alright. So Arlo, Lana, you guys want to head to the sort of courier's office and get letters written, yeah?
I'm gonna join them actually. I have
Okay.
a letter I need to write.
Matt, you also want to
Yay!
write a letter. Anybody else have things to do while you guys prep to leave?
Ready to go?
Alright. We'll follow those 3 to the courier's office then. So, Matt, Arlo, and Lana. You guys can head out towards the courier's office, which is near the front gate of town where you guys have been through quite a bit when you first arrived. And you see near the, sort of on the opposite side of the wall from the stables, there is a small stone building with a little sign out front with a sort of boot with a wing. And there's individuals walking in and out. Some of them seem to just be individuals from around town, farmers, miners, noblemen. Dizzy, you recognize somebody that you've seen working at the brewery. And they're all sort of milling about, and then you see running past them fairly quickly are individuals wearing sort of tight blue uniforms with a feather on a small sort of floppy hat, carrying bags of letters or scrolls, or a few of them seem to be loading like wrapped packages and boxes into a caravan train that's setting up out front. Yeah, there's the courier's office. Would you guys like to go inside?
Yeah, Arlo goes in. He says,
It'd probably work better
"Hail,
that way.
hail and well met yonder documenters, TM. I need I need to send a letter."
All right. The guy behind the counter, the young guy, black hair, he's got a sort of floppy hat, except his has 2 feathers on it.
Oh,
And he will sort of lean down to look at you and go, hello. You want to send a letter, little one?
yeah.
Are you lost?
No.
Okay. And he'll sort of look over your shoulder and see Lana as well and go, "Are you two related?"
Uh-huh.
Wow, that's racist.
Okay. He will sort of go, "Oh," and you see his like brain clicks. He's like, "Ah, they're together. That's why there's two rabbits in my office." And
Um,
together
Lana
as,
better not pick up on that.
together as in as part of a party, not together as in together
Oh,
musical.
jeez, that
Um,
would have been creepy.
no, not like that. The sort of courier master will look at you all and go, "Well, we have quills and envelopes to the left there. You can take whatever you need, and just prepare gold for travel cost. Where are you sending it?"
Uh,
Where are we from again?
Westboro?
Westvale.
Westvale?
Westvale?
Lana got it.
Borough.
Yeah.
I'm sending it to the estate, the Betterberry estate, and that's what I write at the fucking top.
Okay.
And I start my letter. It says, "Dearest Mama and Papa," and then it continues on like a 6-year-old recounting their first day of school.
Okay. Lovely.
Mine's written in Lappish and sounds a little bit more like a college educated student.
While you guys are writing, Ahmet,
Excuse me.
he will stand back and look up towards you. Yes.
Are the rules different with delivering a small package? Do y'all have containers available, or?
Oh, we can wrap it for you. What are you looking to ship?
A pouch of gold, if I'm able.
Oh, certainly.
Along with the letter, of course.
We can make sure it's safe on the road.
Ready?
How large of a package? Or how large of a pouch, rather?
And that is a question for the DM I have to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Having dealt with his contact Lucas before, would Ahmet know the price of a musket barrel and pistol parts?
What did I make you pay for the trigger?
Hang on, I need to scroll up on my notes. I don't remember if her price was...
Because it's going to be more than that.
A price, not in my notes, I don't have a price written down.
We'll say like 100 then.
Okay.
And that is a fairly large sack of coins.
Yes.
Yeah, you're asking for the barrel and what else?
Parts for a just normal flintlock pistol.
Oh, on top of the barrel?
Yeah,
Can
like
make
with
that-
the barrel.
Give me a second. Because that's something D&D might actually have priced. Yeah. Make that 250 total.
Okay.
For gun bits, more gun bits, and also shipping.
Let's see here. You said 250 grand total?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa! Ahmet is probably the most broke he's been in his life.
Guns are hard to come by.
Yeah, I bet. We ain't in the tithe no more.
Yeah. The courier will sort of sit there and watch as you calculate in your head what you're paying, and his eyes go larger as you shuffle more and more gold coins into the pouch.
Around this size of a pouch, and I'll hold up the 250.
Yes. Right, yeah, we can get that sorted. If it may be prying, but what are you purchasing?
I have parts for a few projects I'm working on, technically.
Right. Well then, I'll get you a package, and he will turn and head to the back of the office and grab a sort of wood box, and then sort of put your sack in, the letter in, and anything else you want contained, and then seal up the wood box and go. And where is this getting shipped to?
Meredith, if you would.
Oh, okay, that's doable. And he'll wave down one of the couriers who will grab the box and sort of lug it over towards the back to be shipped. He goes, well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
By then, Lana and Arlo, you've finished your guys' letters and turned them in. They will also be on their way to Westvale. There you go. You guys have sent your letters. Also, if any of you want to be more specific, you are welcome to write out what you wrote and send me. That you do not have to, but you're welcome to.
Okay.
Alright. What's the plan now, lads?
Shall we make our way to Petalfall?
Yeah, I'd like to do that. I've learned some new spells, and I really want to. I want to fucking put them on.
Oh yeah. Actually, can we take 10 minutes before we get on the road? Speaking of new spells, I have something I need to do.
Oh.
Alright.
And Ahmet is gonna find a space, I guess, anywhere at this point, and I am going to cast Find Familiar.
Okay. Do you want to do that
Do you have
like
your
out
insight?
of the gates, or do you want to do that in the closest space you can find right now?
We'll wait till we're out of the gates.
Okay. While the rest of you head out to start, oh my god, my mind just emptied. While you guys start packing up your carts and wagons, well, I'll ask that in a bit. While you guys start packing all that up and getting ready to go, you guys watch as Ahmet finds a corner near the stables, places out some incense and some, I believe, charcoal, and sort of sits there and almost meditates for about 10 minutes as the incense glows hotter and hotter, and then a creature emerges.
Oh yeah, I get to choose what it is.
Yeah.
You see a Fey Shaheen Falcon appear in front of him.
All right. A very real, not clockwork falcon emerges from the summoning circle, and will sort of like hop over to you, Ahmet, and then tilt its head and flap up onto your shoulder.
I'd like to make an Arcana check.
Okay.
Do Fey falcons lay eggs?
That's an Arcana check?
Yeah.
Okay. With an 18, you can safely say that no, they do not lay eggs.
This is the nice useless bird.
They certainly don't lay eggs in not the spirit world.
I don't know about that.
Are you aware of what familiars are capable of?
Not providing sustenance, which apparently I'm really, really enthused about now.
Gosh, you guys have been doodling again.
that question was in character.
It has all been me musical.
That answer was in character.
Okay, sweet. No, sustenance is not the point of this particular familiar. I don't know if that's a thing that other wizards are capable of doing.
Yeah, I'd imagine this
A
food
familiar
wizard,
definitely
right?
would not be the spell to provide that, I'm sure.
You just learned of how to make a familiar, so maybe they can be harvested for eggs. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Like, I've learned vaguely of what familiars can do, and I've just now learned how to summon one. So who knows?
All right.
I do. Got an 18.
Question.
Yeah.
What how many carts and wagons do you guys have now? I just want to get an idea of what our little caravan is.
I think it's either 3 or 4.
I have 2. One of them is the chicken coop.
Yeah.
I have
And then-
one.
Does anybody else have any carts or wagons?
I don't believe so.
And then for context, Shang, you have a wagon, right?
Oh
And
yeah,
then-
it's a wagon.
Dizzy, you have 2 carts?
Yeah.
Okay. So the carts are much smaller than... Like, Shang's wagon is big enough to hold all of you if you squeezed in the back and front. The carts can hold... The one that you don't have chickens in, Arlo, can fit maybe 1 or 2 people, especially the bunnies, in the back, but it's not nearly as spacious. But yeah, you guys have 2 carts and a wagon. And I believe you guys are... Who's driving? It's Arlo, Kenshin, and now Ahmet.
Yeah.
What cart is Ahmet driving?
Ahmet's got the not chicken cart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ahmet,
Because
you have a
apparently
normal
everybody
cart.
hates that idea.
For out of character as your DM and as a Sankaponk, that cart is an excellent idea, and I love egg cart. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. We'll probably get to that later while you guys are on the road, but Kenshin, you will have some things to say to Ahmet while he figures out how to drive carts. While you guys are sort of packing up and getting everything situated, you guys will hear some like talking from the gate, and then Ahmet, a voice you've gotten a little familiar with over the week, maybe a bit too familiar with. Sion will sprint up and sort of stand next to you guys, out of breath, and go, oh, okay. Where are y'all headed?
Pedofall.
What he said.
Oh, y'all have room for one more.
I look over to the wagon, since I'm going to be riding in the cart with Ahmet to make sure he's not running off somewhere. Is there room?
Yeah, certainly.
I suppose you could squeeze room.
Who came?
Sion.
Sion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Ahmet's
Sion
new
was
teacher.
about name.
Ow.
Oh.
Ahmet sort of raises an eyebrow and looks at Sion and says, "Are you not done tormenting yet, Magister?"
As much as I would love this to be all about you, Your Grace, the Queen has
Ahmet just
appointed
gives a
me.
stage bow.
The Queen has appointed me to Petalfall. I have something to look for there.
The wagon has room if you'd like.
Is
Lovely.
this business that we're allowed to know of?
I'll share more on the road.
Fair enough.
Arlo jealously scans the horizon for the chef just sprinting towards the cart.
You hear what sounds like French swearing, and you get your your ears perk, and you're like, oh, it's my time. But towards the gate, you just see Emmanuel wrestling with a new pig.
Oh, that pig will die.
Yeah.
I love it.
We should get some pigs. I need a wagon. We gotta get rid of this cart, get a wagon, get more animals in it.
I swear, we do
If
not
you can
need
manage,
more.
if you can manage the animals, you're free to pick up whatever.
Thank you. I can. They're in cages. They're not hard to manage. You just sprinkle the cage.
Arlo, this
Yeah?
might not be a good idea, just saying.
I'll have none of that negativity. This is an amazing idea. We're gonna breed fat, good eating animals. I
You
never
realize you would have to
do
also
again.
clean the coop every single day for those
Oh.
chickens not to be
Yeah.
diseased.
I'll help
It's-
him.
There's 24 whole hours in each day. I think we can. I think it's gonna be okay.
You can
Is
squeeze
it
20
just-
minutes to take chicken shit out.
Yeah, it's fine.
This is
I'm
preferable.
sure I can learn magic that'll help me do that. Like it's gonna be so easy.
Speaking from past experience, would it be wise to bring carts full of animals down the roads that we have traveled before? And Ahmet sort of like just like points it, like just like throws his head toward the direction that the crypt was.
Well, obviously we don't bring the chickens to the crypt.
He was mentioning the shaft rats.
No, I was talking about bringing large amounts of animals down in potentially dangerous ways.
Yeah, no, but like we're traveling to a
Bandits
city.
and
We can
burglars
have
and such.
look. Y'all change your tunes when I make the best eggs you've ever had next morning.
This is preferable to shaft rat. Continue on. with whatever you
I
want to
feel
do.
like the first eggs that come out of Dizzy's chickens are going to be like pea-sized.
I mean, they're
Oh,
not
no.
like fucking genetically modified American chickens to just shit out large eggs, but they'll be decent.
Especially for bunnies. But
We'll
Lana
get,
says,
we'll get there.
I
won't,
will.
won't all
Does
these
he-
animals attract burglars?
No. Who wants to steal a crate of chickens bolted into a
Hungry
cart?
people?
I mean, in the worst case scenario, they make out with a couple chickens, and then we just buy another. Chickens are so cheap.
Or worst case, they make out with a bunch of chickens and our lives.
Well, that's the chickens are not going to draw more eyes. They're not going to be like, oh, they have chickens.
I do think most people who are going to that point to steal chickens, I don't think mass murder would be the limit they'd be willing to go towards.
I believe
A
we are
few of
confusing
us,
our guests.
maybe.
I believe
In
we're
any
confusing
case,
our guests.
we should probably get moving.
Yes, let's
Uh,
maximize our use of daylight.
Oh, I assumed we were screaming this to each other back and forth through the carts.
No, you guys are just at the entrance right
Probably.
now.
Okay.
Yeah.
To those of you in the cart that I'm driving, brace yourselves.
That's just me.
Yeah.
So Don, I will kindly ask you not to drive us off the cliff.
I can promise nothing.
I will.
I give you a big thumbs up and I say, you can do it, and I give you bardic inspiration.
In Lappish, Lana asks Arlo, and please don't focus so much on the chickens that you forget the bunnies in the back.
Oh. Yeah, there's not a lot of space in my cart.
Yeah, I do
In the
not
chicken
recommend
I don't
sitting
think
in the
anybody's
chicken cart.
The
Okay,
the
fine.
wagon still has tons of room.
Yeah, everyone that
So most
isn't
of us aren't
Fel, on
Shanks,
that
but-
or Arlo should be in the wagon. So Kenshin, both bunnies, and Cian can be in the wagon behind.
Yeah.
Ahmet, I will be giving you instructions while we are on the road.
Wouldn't be the first time.
I trust you can follow instructions, yes.
I'll look at Sion.
Cian sort of shrugs.
I'd like to
Ugh.
think that I'm pretty good at following instructions.
He's getting the hang of it.
Cheers.
Fel, you might be in for a bumpy ride.
Alright.
Well, I am in there to just in case show him. So, you know.
I think I'll just pray to the Titan while we're in transit.
That will begin your guys' rather bumpy ride towards Petalfall, which we will pick up with in 3 weeks. We're gonna call the session
Jeez.
there. I'm sorry, Hothead.
No.
People I'll do announcements and things in a second. But yeah, we end of things.
Hey.
Goodbye, stream.